Oh, we are live. Good afternoon. Good evening. Good morning. It's a bright Saturday from Leeds, the United Kingdom. And as usual, we bring those topics that we need to grow and become who we want to be. I can see one person watching. We'll give few minutes for others to join. Then we go into the business of the day. I'll just go on and share on my page in order to invite some sisters who need to hear this. Let me share. Let me share. Yeah. Emilian Grace is my name. I am the CEO of That Name Woman, an organization where we work with girls and women who have gone through adversities in the past. What we do is we give them hope. We try to educate, inspire, and transform their lives so that they can bounce back from the adversities and live a normal and more fulfilling life. Today on the show, we'll be joined by Dr. Mbunya from the United States of America, and he'll be talking to us about business. Gone are those days where they think women cannot get involved in business. Yeah, we are taking over. We are not competing, but we are taking over. Hi, Dr. Louise. Welcome. We are taking over. We are going to shift today. Those who know me, when I come here, a lot of times we talk about gender inequalities, gender bias against the women. But today we are shifting. We are shifting from gender inequalities, and we are going to talk about skills and performance. We are going to talk about what women need to step into business. We are going to know if it's important for women to have different mentorship when it concerns business, or that's just our mind. We are going to have a discussion that is worth listening to. I will not take much of your time. I will just introduce to you one of our own. I say our own because we have seen him on many different platforms, and we are privileged to have him today on the That Name Woman platform. Welcome to the show, Dr. Mbunya. Wait, see.
Wow.
Hello, doctor.
Hello. I'm super excited to be a guest today and to share in this great work that you're doing. And it is our hope that we are also going to learn from also those who are watching. I think one of the benefits is ask your questions, and we are here because you're there. So if not, we won't come up live. So we're talking about business with specific focus on women, how to step up their game in business, and a whole lot more. I'm happy to be here. Thank you very much, Amelia.
Thank you so much for that introduction. But still, you need to tell us who you really, really are. I know a lot of people have seen you on other platforms, as I said. I myself follow you from one platform to another because I know what I can benefit from you. And I am a sister's keeper, and I want other sisters to benefit too from our own. I call you our own because of the work you're doing for your community. We are very grateful for that, and keep impacting the world, Doctor.
Thank you very much. A bit about me. I'm from Cameroon, and attended the University of Mbunya, specifically from the BLM division. And growing up in the early 80s from a small jungle village, I've always aspired to really transform my village. That is the mentality I started growing up with when I was as young as 5. I started asking questions like, why is it that people don't have cars in this village? Why can't we have them? So you can imagine, like, okay, why are there no cars? Why don't we have light? And all of those questions. So when I was young, I had a mindset that I wanted to grow up to be a doctor. So I thought doctors had a lot of money, so I could transform like the whole community if I was a doctor. But as we all learn as we are growing, when I was growing up, I realized, okay, if you really want to transform people, money is not enough. You need to also inform the mindset. And I can remember when I went to the university. I studied botany, yeah, at the level of bachelor. That's what not what I wanted to study. I wanted to do something in the field of medical science. But the way the University of Boya was then, for those who were there, because of limited space. So when you apply, they just put you anywhere they want to put you. I was a bit disappointed, but I think that was like they were just drifting me to the direction I wanted to go. And the reason I'm kind of bringing back this background is to look at the shift on how I've been able to transition from where I was to business today. And when I studied botany, when I graduated in 2006, my elder sister wanted me to go to ENS to be a teacher. Say, hey, you're gonna secure some good money. I said, no, teachers don't have money. I don't want to be a teacher. So by then, I decided to join wildlife conservation. And the motivation was I've seen a lot of white people come to the country. I said, if these people are coming to this country because of wildlife, there is something there that a lot of people are not seeing. And by then, I was volunteering, but it tended to be so because 2 years after, in 2008, I had the opportunity to start traveling internationally. And those who went to the ENS have not even finished and not alone start working. So at times we just need to take some unusual route based on what our instinct really tells us. And in 2009, I had a scholarship to study masters in Belgium. So I did a master's in sustainable development, and I also did my doctorate in development studies. But I was focused on mainly on why the poor get poor, why the rich get rich, what's the gap, what's giving access, and why is that access? So I did a lot on policies and business values and looking at institution, looking at traditional institution, why people have power, why they pass policy. So it happened that by fate, we found ourselves in the United States in 2014. And for those who are in the United States, you know how the race is. It's completely different from where the way Europe is organized. You can
Yeah,
have
that's
like
true.
the whole week here and just have like 3 hours every day, right? And I wasn't really happy with the situation because by then my wife will leave home at like 7, come back like 5, go to the next job, come back by 12. The next morning she's gone. I was like, okay, you know what? We need to do something different. Myself, I was working as a project manager then. It was really tiring. And there used to be time I would see my son only on Saturday because at times by the time I get home by 8 o'clock, he's gone to school. I told myself that, you know what, I need to do something to change all of this. And when I started looking at what I really wanted to do and the transformation I wanted, I said, okay, I need to get into business because if I start working from paycheck to paycheck, I'm not going to be able to do this to really live. But then getting into business was another challenge. Now, I had to take the fastest route, which for anyone getting into business, the fastest route was that I had to hire a coach. So I hired a coach, and in less than 90 days, I had all what I needed to become a full-time coach in business. But I also think because since 2009, I've always have that entrepreneurial mindset. I run my own non-profit and other businesses that are still going on in Cameroon now. So it was easier for me to really fit into that transition, and most especially taking over the American community, which are some of the stuff we're going to discuss in our show today. So thank you very much, Milena. We'll be answering most of the questions along the line.
Thank you, Doctor. You just answered the question I wanted to pose to you, that why did you have to choose business with a lot of choices that you had on your plate? I think you have already answered that one. And you said you're taking over the American community. I want to tell you, you are taking over the world. We are also joining you to take over. You have not taken over only the American community. I'm not in the US, but I really follow you from a platform to another, as I said, because of what I can achieve from you. So now I already understand why you had to choose business.
Yeah.
Why is it so important for us to talk about women in business? I
Okay.
know a lot has been happening. They think women, just the name woman means you are limited and you can't do certain things. But that is changing these days. A lot of women are into all sorts of business. So
Yeah.
why do you think we should be talking about women in business?
I think it is very important to talk about business, and most specifically women in business, because if you look at the way nature itself, a woman has a lot to do, which means a woman needs a lot of time. And a woman needs to play along with her time in order to have like good quality control over the household, spend more time with the kid, and really monitor a whole lot of stuff. If you're not in business, if you don't control your own time, it's difficult to do that. If someone hold your own time, it's really difficult to do that. A typical example, it's there's a book we published, The Fulfilled Mom by Belinda Thatcher, and we handle most of those stuff like she spends so much time trying to get a child, and for so long time she find after so dealing with so many miscarriages, she finally had her daughter. But then she had to work like from morning to about 9 p.m. And then what you have longed for so long, you don't even have time. And she started asking herself the question, so what is the need of really having all of the when you can have time to spend with your kid, with the family? And she started looking at, I need to own my own time. And the fastest way for you to own your own time is to become an entrepreneur. But becoming an entrepreneur is not an easy journey. I would say that. But it's not as difficult as many people think as well. It's just being able to know the right thing to do and what we need to do. So, women in business, I think it's about time women start buying more time for themselves. And if you really want to buy more time for yourself, my advice is that get into business. And we'll be talking more about business. When we talk about business, a lot of people always limit themselves to maybe selling products, selling services or so. But with what we have in the 21st century, a lot is changing. You can be in business without actually buying and saying something. The first thing I always tell people that you are already a resource. There's already a lot in you that you can sell without actually going out there to trade product and services. You just need to know the right way and have the right approach to be able to unleash that.
Wow, that's very, very right. I love when you said if you want to own your time, if you want to be in control of your time, you need to be an entrepreneur. That's very true. For me, I don't sell goods and services, but I know I am an entrepreneur because I use my gifts and my talents are making way for me. And to me, that is business. So, Doctor, I know there are a lot of people out there who wants to get into business, but they are a bit confused. They don't know what kind of business they can embark on. So, in your opinion, what makes a good business?
Wow. Thank you very much. That is a very interesting question. And I'm going to take it from different dimension. Now, the different things that make a good business, but it start with you, the person that want to get into business. It start by you understanding where your strength is. Now, the concept of business is all about solving a problem. It has nothing to do with buying goods and services, and most often it's about solving a problem. Now, a good business idea is an idea that solves a problem. We've seen what has happened within this pandemic. Like the people that were solving the pertinent problem actually win the most, right? We see Zoom, for instance. We see StreamYard. These are companies we never knew. But then the ideas behind the concept was about to solve a problem of communication, solving an important problem. And a good business idea composed of identifying a problem that someone really need to solve. I want to take, for instance, I do business coaching, and most importantly, book writing. But taking it from the aspect where I started doing business coaching before I pivot within the during the COVID-19 to focus more on book coaching, which is also one thing we want to talk about, the ability to take advantage of time and seasons. We need to be flexible. Now, when I wanted to get into business, I needed to evaluate what is the kind of lifestyle I want to live. Now, I'm someone that I love traveling. I love just having my own time. So the first thing is that I will not want to get into a business that require me to be on the spot. I want to get into a business I can travel with my business. And if I can travel with my business, I can be everywhere in the world and I'm coaching people. Now, if you also go into the field of coaching, it was something that was really kind of new in our own community. The people, I have a lot of people that say, you know what, you have a doctorate, go get a teaching position in the university. Why are you wasting your time on Facebook? Why are you doing all of this? All right. If I had to go by the masses, if I had to go by what the society is really kind of focusing on, I'll be a lecturer in the university, or I'll be working for one big organization. But I noticed that although that might be a quick way out, that is not the kind of life I want to live. Now, I identify that a lot of people want to get into business, but they are limited with the fact that I don't have capital, I don't know what to do. So I started positioning myself to help people that were already in business and people that wanted to get into business. And understanding that business was a really pertinent issue that could not go away, I knew that, okay, that was the way to go. But it wasn't just about the availability of market. It was about what is the problem you want to solve. Let's take, for instance, let's just take, let's say if you want to start a business today and you look around your community and you realize that maybe in the UK, kid doesn't go to school until they turn 5. Now, there is already a problem there that we need to solve. What about the moms that need to work and they don't have where to put the kid? What about those who need to work at night or maybe need to go somewhere and they don't have where to keep their kid? Now you start designing a solution that's going to solve that problem. Immediately someone understands that this is going to be of help to me, they're willing to pay you. Why? Because it's solving a pertinent problem. And these are just minor problems that we can identify and we can create like a really massive business there. One of the really outstanding business idea I saw during COVID was a lady. She was a Spanish lady. Now she created what we call Zoom classes for kids because then all schools were shut down, and you just have to pay. I think it was $5 a day, and you can leave your kid like online. She really helped them in a creative way, and she was serving more than 100 kids on Zoom on a day. Just imagine that's $5 times 100. That's how much you could make. So business is about looking around you and trying to solve the small issues that people are going through. So a good business idea, number one, you need to understand the problem you're solving, and you need to understand that you can find someone that will be willing to pay you to solve that problem.
Wow. Wow, that was deep. You mentioned Facebook, you mentioned Zoom. I wanted to ask this because I myself I used to think about it. Can one really start a business without investors.
Mm. Yes, yes, yes. That's a big yes. I want to give a clear example. There is this lady from Douala, Cameroon, Danielle. Now, I met Danielle on LinkedIn and we connected. And I noticed that she was interested in digital marketing and she was working for a company in Douala by then. And she was really passionate. I asked her, do you know you can start your own digital marketing company without really bothering? She said, no, it's difficult. You need to learn this. You need. I said, no, you don't need to. Now, the point is, especially people on digital marketing, or I'm going to talk about her case, then I'm going to zoom out and talk about other instances. I told her, okay, let's get on a deal here. I'm going to show you how it's possible for you to start running your own company. And the deal was very simple. Okay, I'm not going to ask you to pay me. I just want to show you what is possible. Then, if you succeed, any deal you have, I get 10% from it. She said, okay, good. Now, what she needed was to position herself where people can know that she can provide digital market services. And then she started blogging. I said, number one, just write a post. If someone looking for assistance, and in less than a couple of months, she had more than 5 people in the United States she was helping. And now she was making like she was in Cameroon, she's in Douala, she's not even in the United States. She's running a digital company. She's one of like my main assistant handling my LinkedIn, and she's been paid for that. Now she's also working with many other people that need assistance. What she's doing now is trying to train others who could assist her. What did she have need any money? No. Most often, like with the digital world and with what we have available, there are a lot of way we can put ourselves out there. Also, the way I started. Now, when I started, I did not know that it was as easy as I know now. So I needed to hire a coach who taught me exactly what to do. And when I made my first $5,000 from a client, from one client, that was like the first day I got in business. I was like, no, this is not true. And what was the difference? The difference was I was writing my book then, I was working with a coach. And the reason why I worked with this coach was the fact that she was making $1 million in a month. And I went through the portfolio of her company and said, but what is the secret? What exactly is she doing to make $1 million in a month? And when I reached out to her team to want to be in a team where she was coaching, and when I talked to one of her sales assistant, they told me, okay, to get in was $15,000 to get into a space just for 90 days was $15,000. You get your book. Then I really wanted like a bigger shift. And I closed my eyes and I said, okay, I'm in. Now that's also the risk an entrepreneur needs to take. Okay. I said I'm in. I said I'm in. I did not really know what if I will succeed or not. And then this is me putting in $15,000 just to sit under someone for 9 weeks to understand the strategy she is using to be able to make $1 million in a month. And when she started like teaching in within my third week, and she said, okay, do this. If you do this and do this, you're going to get someone reach out to you. What did I do? Now we crafted an offer, which is exactly the same approach I teach people that are writing a book. We crafted an offer, which was I've had a lot of experience in the nonprofit world, helping small businesses, linking them with companies. And now the strategy we built was to help those who are in the corporate world and want to transition to running their own business. So I put a post on LinkedIn on that day, say, hey, I'm almost finishing with my book, and I am looking forward to talk to 5 people this week that want to transition from their corporate job to run their own business. Now, one guy from Indiana contacted me. He had a good job. He was working as a human resource for a big company. He was making more than $100,000 in a year. But then he had a problem. He had no time to spend with her daughter, and that was really a big issue. I said, okay. By then, my book, Skyrocket Your Business Zero Cost, had a 9 step on how you could transition from your corporate job into your own business. I said, okay, we can create this for you, and I can show you how you can set up a business that can make $150,000 in a year. And she said, yeah, I really want to do that. I said, okay, it's going to cost you $5,000. She said, yes, I'm in. Then I kind of like, I was confused. Like, I was like, I said, yes, I'm in. Number one, because I've never had like, I just had to follow what the coach was giving me. Do this, do this, do this. He said, yes, I'm in. And that's how we got started. And in less than 3 months, he had a strategy we laid together. He was able to quit his corporate job, and he has now his own HR company. And he has now staff. Why? Because he was already working for this big company. Now we had to rebrand him from working with big companies to working with small companies that wanted big ideas that big companies are using to have success. And because he had that track record, we're able to build that potential into a business. Now, when I saw that, I was like, wow. So is it how easy it was? And then why is everybody not getting into the space? Then I noticed that it's not about everybody not getting into the space. There's a big price to pay for that. Like, even within the coaching fee now, if you want to step to the next level as soon as possible and you have the money to put in there, you're going to get to the next level. But then, now the reason why I decided to put myself for the community was the fact that not everybody has an entrepreneurial mindset to take that kind of a risk, because that's a big risk. And now, what do I need to do? I need to be able to break it down to a level where someone that really, really wanted could be able to follow the process gradually and grow in it without feeling the impact of, okay, it's costing too much or so. But it's all about looking for problems and trying to create a unique signature that you can help someone with. Now, the other side of business, which is the product side of business, is a very lucrative side of business as well. But also, what we need to understand, because by then I also work with one Cameroonian. He was in Canada and he run a business in Cameroon. But then for a long time, he has not had profit in that business. And because there was no system on how he could monitor the business. So what we needed to do is that we needed to draft systems in which the accountability could be really straight in such a way that if there is a gap, he could see that there is a gap. And we also needed to put together a strategy to scale up, and which is where systems come in people that are running traditional business. For people that are running traditional business, it's more about systems. It's about, okay, if I put 10,000 CFA a year, if I put $1,000 a year, it means I'm getting $500 the next week. If I don't get it the next week, something is wrong. So those systems now help you to know that if I'm investing $10,000, I know exactly what to get out. If I don't get it out, something is wrong, which are some of the basic systems that many people that are in business don't really have. So business is more about ideas. So the ideas that you put behind that help to push your vision, that help to push your product and everything out there.
Well, thank you. Thank you for dissecting this for us, because actually a lot of us want to get into business and we keep asking ourselves what makes a good business. I like when you said looking, business is all about looking for programs and problems and creating solutions to that. And earlier on, you said it's all about understanding your strength. I think if you understand your strength, you can always be able to do anything. Dr. Mbunya, before we get into the real deal, let's check what's happening in the comment section.
Okay.
Bless you, Dr. Ekwe Louise. Thank you, Queen. Thank you, Dr. Deborah, for watching. We have the doctors supporting their own today. I can doctors, and again, they are women. It means we are taking over.
I know.
I see the doctors coming to watch another doctor, PhD people. Wow, we appreciate your knowledge and your sacrifice. Thank you, lovely, for joining in. Dr. Mbuya himself said it's going to be an exciting moment. Actually, I am all ears. I needed this. I love business and I am not so versed with business ideas. So it's a privilege to have you and get it straight from you. Yes, Dr. Deborah, we are taking over. We are not competing, but we are taking over in our own way. Mary Blessing, thanks for joining. And she says, more grace, Dr. Francis Mbuya. I know this is one of your followers and she's coachable. So it's good to have her join us on board today. She also says, great topic. Doctor, there is a question. I think you have answered it, but there is a question here. Can one start a business without investors? Maybe
Mhm.
a lot of people were thinking the same like I did. Someone asked, I don't know if you want to throw more light on that.
Yes, it's very possible. There is a book I'll probably be publishing in the next 2, 3 months. It's called How to Start a Business Without Enough Capital, or without an investor, without money. I call it business at zero cost. It's possible. And I think I also have an online course on Udemy where I did that course when a lot of people were asking me, I want to start a business, I don't have money. And just to throw a bit of light on that, if you want to start a business without an investor, these are a couple of things that you want to take into consideration. Number one, you want to first of all market the value that you have, create a value that someone is going to buy that value. Then you market that value. For instance, I had a guy here in Texas that wanted to start he wanted to start a bakery, but the unique value is that he wanted to do a set of dessert that were not common within the Texas market. And now he needed about $300,000 to get started that business, and he had no money. Now, when we started working on his business idea, the first concept was the two ways: you can either get a loan or you can create that value and market that value. Now, he wanted to go through the route of creating the value and marketing that value. And this is where a lot of people are very skeptical. Someone is going to steal my idea. Someone is going to take it. And okay, one thing you need to understand is that as you're thinking, there are many other people thinking. You cannot keep an idea for 5 years and you come back and that idea is still valid. No. So when you have an idea and you don't have money, the first thing we did for that guy was that now we said, okay, why don't you sell part of that idea to people that needed those services? So we started identifying some restaurants around his neighborhood that could benefit from an extra section where they could have like this dessert display to add more value to their customer. Now, what were we selling to that restaurant? We weren't selling dessert for them. No, we were showing them how they could attract more clients if they implement this idea. Now, the key concept in business is that don't sell a product, sell the result it's going to create. For instance, if I say, okay, Ms. Grace, I want you to write a book, and it's like, okay, I don't have time. Now, if I said, okay, I want to show you how writing a book can generate to £100,000 in a year, you're going to give me a listening ear. Why? Because I'm communicating the result. Now, when we contacted these restaurants, it was not we want to deliver dessert to them. No, we want to show them how implementing this concept of creating a whole new section can add them about 5 or 6 clients in a day. And this means that more revenue for them, right? So the way you translate or the way you communicate the message to the person who will need you, they want to buy value, they want to buy result. And from that angle, there are 4 keys, I'll say 5 keys to business leadership, which I also teach. Now I'm not focusing on business leadership, but it's also a whole brand that I'm developing. There are 5 main keys any business person need to understand in order to run a successful business. The first is belief. You need to first of all believe that you can do it, and that's where many people kind of lack the Z to start. They have great ideas, but they said, "No, I don't think anyone is going to believe in me." Now you are taking decision for people without even asking their opinion. And in most cases, I've seen people that said, "Okay, I know you don't believe in yourself, but I want you to do this. Just put yourself out. And then if nobody comes, then we'll conclude that nobody believes in you." And now they put themselves out and say, "Oh, wow, I can see the difference." Now, what is the difference? The difference is that people need what you have, but most often we hold ourselves back and say, "Oh, it's not good enough. I'm not going to show anybody about it." And then when you have that belief, the next step is that you need clarity. You can't have clarity if you don't believe in yourself. No matter how I explain the concept of making money to you, if you don't believe that you can do it, it's not going to help you. When you build clarity, clarity has its own concept, which you need to talk about. You move, clarity is what gives you confidence. If you were very clear that if you do like a live video today, someone is going to reach out to you, you will do about 10 videos that day because you want 10 people to reach to you. But because we're not so confident, we're like, okay, this time consuming, I don't want to do it. And that's the reason why you're going to see me put content out every day, every minute. Why? Because I'm convinced that there is somewhere one out there that need it. And that is how I get people contact me. That is how I get business. There's no super magic there. It's just about putting yourself out there. But for you to put yourself out there, you need belief, you need clarity on exactly what to say. And then that is going to give you the confidence to start doing it. And with that confidence, when people come to you, when you're listening to me, you're not listening to my words. You're listening to the passion in me. That's why someone can be very learned or can read a journal and they're talking about something. You can know that, oh, this person just write a couple of stuff and it's just maybe knowledge they read. If I'm presenting a scientific paper, you'll be able to see the difference compared to when I'm talking something which is really, really connected to my heart. So when we find that passion, that is what is going to make someone say, you know what, there is something in me that said that I should do it. I don't know what it is. Now, from the confidence, you start having people that believe in you. And the last part is where the money comes in. Now, the problem we have is that we have many people that want to start with the money. Like, okay, where's the money? I want to do business where the money is. And because of that, when they don't see the money, they back out. So it's possible to start a business without investor. You just need to know how you can leverage partnership by creating value and looking for people that want to buy the value. So you sell your value in trade. Another approach which we also use is using the approach of a non-profit in order to get into a business venture. That is like a whole different approach to business or to starting your own company without having to spend your own money. But the more detail, more tricks to that, which we cannot go into that today. But that's also another approach to start up from there.
Thank you. Now I know I don't need an investor to start my business. What I need is clarity and belief in myself. Selling your value is the most important thing. That's what I picked up from what you were saying. And doctor, it seems someone, okay, Bishop Berry says, can I have her contact, please? I think it's Daniela. So you
Oh
can
yeah,
to Daniela for the work she's doing for you and many others. Other
yep,
people need her, so you could make her contact available if you can.
yeah. I'll do
Bell,
that.
thanks for joining us today. And Mimi Labelle says, I needed to hear this today. Thanks for all your time. Doctor, there are a lot of businesswomen out there, and we're glad you brought this up for us to learn from an expert. Divine Favor says, you sell solutions. Thank you, Divine, for watching. And back to you, Dr. Mbunya. Are there some advantages and disadvantages women in business face?
Mm.
You know, we are the weaker vessel, and a lot of time they think we can't really survive. So, what are those advantages and disadvantages women who keep staying in business face out there?
Okay, I'm going to start with the advantages. I always like the positive side of it. So, because I always say that. Now, there are a lot of opportunities for women in business. Women who want to start a business. There are a lot of opportunity in every country. There are a lot of opportunity internationally. There are a lot of opportunity, and one of the trick also for people that are running a business. If you put a woman as the head of your business, you have the possibility to access more funding because a woman is there. So that's true. That's true. And I was feeling something this morning. My non-profit in Cameroon, we have a partnership with a UK organization, and they're looking for people to train. And they say, if there's no woman in your list, you need to justify why there is no woman in that list. I was just talking to my friend. So there are a lot of advantages for women that really want to go up there. And also, the bigger advantage is that what you have to pull other women who think that is not possible. For me, that's a stronger advantage of a woman being in business. There are many women that say, you know what, my kids, you know what, they're too much, you know what, I have to cook, you know what, I have to watch, you know what, I have to do all of these. But if someone else show them that you can still do all of this and it's possible, now that's an advantage. Now you're going to get more following. Women that are in business have more following than men that are in business. Why? Because they are challenging the status quo. And the same thing when I think early 2019, I took a decision with my wife. We said, okay, we all want to be entrepreneurs. We don't want to work for anybody. That was a tough decision though. And she got into network marketing. For those who don't believe in network marketing, it's a whole big deal. It's a whole big market in there for anyone that want to venture. You only need to find the right person. And we didn't have space of doing network marketing. In less than 2 years, she's grown to one of the top rank in the company. I mean, something that takes people more than 8 years. But what's the difference? The difference is your belief system. The difference is avoiding the negativity and focusing on the positive aspect. But most importantly, for many people, the difference is spending time in the sacred place. This is something that a lot of people don't understand. When I mean the sacred place, spending time with God. If you can incorporate this in anything you do, you have a triple advantage over any other person. Now, one of the stuff I do in business is not that I just learn a lot of stuff. No, I spend in a day, I can say I pay my tithe in the sacred place every day, which means that I want to invest at least 2 hours, 30 minutes studying the Bible, praying, just meditating. And this is what helped you to bypass the negativity. I was in a convention that was 2019. It was like a speaker convention. Number one, I was like the youngest person in there. Number two, I was one of the few blacks in there. And then we were doing kind of a round table, and it was like just write the character or the qualities you can see in the next person. And the guy that was sitting next to me, the only stuff he wrote on my paper was that you have a big heart. I was like, what do you actually mean that you have a big heart? Then when I asked him like, what exactly do you mean that you have a big heart? And he said, did you look around this room? The youngest person is about 50 years. Like, what really actually made you think that you could just and I just laugh. Why? Because it's not about others. What you know is not in relationship to what others know. You are
Yes.
unique. Everybody is unique. And when you are able to position yourself where people thought you could not be there, that is when your voice is amplified. And because of that, I became part of a speaker club. Most of them in there, professors, old people. I became part of it. Why? Because I was able to future myself in a position where I could make my voice heard. And it's not only about that. I wasn't one of the presenters, but one of the stuff I always learn, which is also for everybody, is that I always seize an opportunity to make sure that I leave a landmark everywhere I go. So it was during Q&A. This is a technique if you're attending a conference, participating, and you want to get noticed. And a lot of people feel like, okay, maybe you're participating in something, you're doing that person a favor. No, you're doing yourself a favor.
Yeah.
And I just put my hand up and I wanted to ask a question. Now, before I asked the question, I had to tell them who I am and what I did. And when I asked the question, I knew the answer, but the reason I was asking that question was to put in some value in what I do. And that is the period where everyone started asking, do you have a business card? But I've been in that room for almost 2 hours and nobody noticed me. So people don't notice you because you don't create that opportunity to put out that value. When you start putting out, people are going to ignore you because they thought you're joking, right? They thought you're joking. When I started business online, everybody told me, get out of Facebook. You're wasting your time. Everybody told me, no, this thing is not going to work. We have people that are fake. Now, this is like 2, 3 years down the line. No one is saying that again. Why? You need to prove beyond doubt that it can work. Then you start attracting the right people.
Well, you need to put value, you need to sell value. You also said what you know is different from what other people know. You said a whole lot of nuggets here. Staying in a divine connection, having clarity, believing in yourself, selling yourself, and the list goes on and on. So, Doctor, why do you think women should step up their game in business? That's the main thing.
All right.
Why do
I
you think
remember
they need to step up their
the game in
games
business.
in
Yeah.
business?
That's a very important question. I remember when we started having a conversation about what we wanted to talk about. That was the first thought that came in my mind. Women stepping up their game in business, and the reason I decided to talk about this is because my wife is an entrepreneur. Now she does business, and I am her coach. Now when she started up, there were 101 reasons why she can't do what she's doing. Now she need to take care of the kid. I need to do this. I don't have this. I don't have this. Or this person just said this. And also, women are very emotional. That's also one of the smart, which means any stuff that come across them get directly into their heart. And because of this, you kind of find people that say, you know what, I want to be in my space. I don't want to be where I keep having all of this. No, you know what? So the reason women need to step up their game in business is, first of all, number one, when things happen to you, they don't happen to you because you're a woman. They happen to you because you are in a specific position, because you are doing a specific stuff. Now, the focus is that many of us tend to look at it's because it's me, it's not because it's you. One thing which we have to understand is that if somebody react badly to you, it's not about you, it's about the way they are feeling at that point. It has nothing to do with you. Somebody's going to look at you at the face and tell you, you know what, you cannot make it. It's not where you belong. It's not about you. It's about them because they feel threatened by you. So when you have that mentality that what comes your way is not about you, but it's because of the people around it, now you gain that strength. And now the second point, which I'm just taking this lesson from the way I've been working with my wife. Now the second stuff is that what when we have failure are part of bigger lessons in business, and they're very important for you to grow. Failure means that you need to have, how can I put it? You need to have thick skin to absorb it, right? Just imagine you want to start up your day and you're in network marketing and you talk to the first 10 people and you say, no, that's a scam. No, that's a scam. No, that's a scam. Now, the 10 no's in your head, no, that's a scam. No, that's a scam. Now, that gets directly into your emotional into your emotions, right? And because women are emotional, they quickly give up, like, no, there are too many no's. I cannot handle that. But when you start understanding that it's not about you, it doesn't get into you. It does not happen. And there's also a very big winning strategy for anyone in business. If you keep having no, it means the yes that is coming after that is really big. So you need to create more space. So the no's need to create space for the yes to come in. And I've seen this work over and over again. For instance, there was a point where I was about to hit a position in our business. During that week, almost about 10 people quit. It's like, you know what, I'm not in. And she was like, oh no, it means that I'm out. I say no. The reason they're quitting is because there is someone that is coming that need more space and need more attention. And exactly that is what happened. One person came in the next week and was able to bring in more than 50 people into her business. And now she had now the time to focus on that person. Now, consistency, resilience is the most powerful aspect in business. Resilience is also a big weakness when we're talking about women. They cannot resist as men. Now, understanding that you need to put in resilience and understanding that you don't need to put in your emotions with business is going to help you step up your game. And also understand, when you understand how to deal with resilience, when you understand how to deal with rejection, now you understand how to step into higher zones of risks. So only those who want to step into higher zones of risks can quickly scale up in business. Now, if you don't want to take risks, you will succeed. It's going to take you quite some time. But in anything you want to do, the amount of risks is equivalent to the result you will get. So if the low risks is low result, if there's high risks, but then how do you mitigate the risks? Building inner strength, seeing beyond that opportunity. That's what happened in the sacred place. That's why I said that's the secret in business. You're able to talk to God, and He said, okay, there's a time where I wanted to quit. I really, really wanted to quit. Like nothing was going. And when I took back, okay, just give me a moment, okay. When I look back to what I was doing, I wanted to quit. Then I remember, okay, I just need to do my due diligence. I went on a 3-day fast. I prayed. I had no answer from God. I got up I lay on my bed, and what happened was like, okay, I heard just one voice, like, be still, just move ahead, be still. All right. And now I was working based on faith because I had no result at that point, and it was like 6 months, no tangible result. Normally, I would quit if I wasn't able to look beyond what was happening. If I wasn't able to understand that it's not about me, it's about the person who created me and the person who wants me to succeed. And most often, when we understand that God is more interested in your success than you yourself, it just gives you that strength to get up and you say, you know what, He's going to take care. I don't need to bother so much. I just need to make sure that I have something that is valuable. I know someone that needs it. I just need to position myself. And the person who is bringing the harvest is going to bring it. So those are some of the dimensions that help us to operate beyond the normal. There's a book. It's going to be released end of this month. It's called the 7 Insights to Succeed Beyond the Normal as a Christian. So because as a Christian, we operate with different norms. We don't operate like any other person. There are values. We need to keep that integrity, which means that there are certain things other people in business are going to do. We are not permitted to do that. It also means that we need a different mindset to succeed in the field. So we need to take advantage of all of this to position ourselves where we can strive.
Wow, thank you. You have given us a lot of scaling strategies on how to stay in business. So at this moment, I know there might be a woman out there looking at you and no, I can't do this. What advice do you have to women who are not yet in business? Because you said the
Okay.
idea with women is that when they are in business, they need to bring other women to join them.
Yeah.
Asking on behalf of my other sister friends who are not yet in business, what advice can you give them?
the advice I would give them is start thinking about getting in business. Now, when I talk about start thinking about getting in business, many people are going to say, "Oh, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I don't have the knowledge." Everything can be learned. You just now. I did a series which was called "The Only Key to Success." And when I when I was invited to give a speech, and that was the title of my speech. And when I asked the question, do we believe that there is just one key to success? Like, what are you talking about? What do you mean there's only one key to success? And yes, there is only one key to success. The belief that you can do it. That is the only key that is going to help you to find out what you can do. So many people have never thought about doing it, so they cannot even do it, even if the opportunity is right in front of them. So when you open up and you say, you know what, I need to have a business on the side, automatically an opportunity is going to show up. Now we have this opportunity coming our way every day, but because we're not interested about it, it's just like the moment you start thinking about I need to buy a car, now you start seeing exactly what you need. You start seeing yourself in that point. But if you've never thought about that, you can walk past 20 cars and you don't even notice there's something going on there. Why? Because you're going after the boss. So your focus is the boss. The same stuff when you think about, I think I need a business, automatically that thinking trigger now the processes in your brain to succeed. Now, we all have to understand that we're created by God. And God created man, put man in a garden to cultivate the garden, to do work. So we are created to work. Now, the level of work you open yourself to is based on how you allow yourself to. One of the typical examples of the people who really succeeded by the belief, which is the mindset, the thinking, was David, right? When you read the book of Samuel and how David acted, a lot of people said it wasn't possible, but he came in and said, "You know what? I can do it." And because he believed so much that he could do it and nothing could stop him, he was able to put down Goliath. Why? The thinking, I can do it. There's a way out. So we women that are not yet in business, start thinking that I need to get into business. When you start thinking, your eyes are going to be open and an opportunity is going to show up. But if you've never thought about being in business, if you kind of wave it up, it's never going to come your way. It's the same as we're talking about the money talk. One of the person I really love when it comes to the money talk is one of our author, Patrick. And Patrick said, look, money is like a beautiful woman. If you tell her she's beautiful, now she's gonna like you. If you say she's ugly, she's gonna go away. So when you say that you don't like rich people because they do nasty game, it simply means that you don't like money. So we need to be able to know how to use our word, to use our thinking, to use our mindset to attract the stuff. For women that want to get into business, don't think about money. You don't need money. You need an idea. When an idea show up, then any other stuff you need is going to show up.
Yeah, it's all about believing that you can do it. So for those who already think that they can step into business and those who are there, what advice can you give to women on how to balance business and family?
Mm. That is a tough one. And that is also a challenge. Yeah. It's a very tough one, but then it's also something we should talk about because
Yeah.
as we are growing as entrepreneurs, we need to balance business and family, not only as women but also as men. Now, creating that time for the family is very important, and there is something about time. If you believe you don't have time, you don't have time. If you believe you're too busy, you're too busy. There's nothing you can change about that. Now, for most especially for women who are in business, the first thing is to intentionally create time. Put out the time you want to spend with the family. I do that. I do that also with my wife. We put time. This is family time. And the kid know that family time, there's no phone on the table, family time, we need to take a walk, family time. My son is writing a book on family time uh, now, the importance of family time, and it's about 16 chapters. But this is because he's been able to see us put emphasis on family time. Now we need to create, and creating doesn't mean you have time. If I want to sit on my laptop till midnight and even the whole night working, I'm going to have work. But I need to cultivate the habit that, okay, by 1 p.m., I need to stop. By 4 p.m., I need to stop. And some people would think that, oh no, what you're doing, what I need to do that. Let's just take an example. If you have to go pick your son or your daughter at school, no matter what you're doing, you're going to stop, right? Because that is important. So we need to be able to attribute that importance to family. Because if you don't attribute that importance to family, you're going to lose it. Now, the ladder of business is you have God, you have family, you have business. Now, if you put business before family, then you're going to lose the business. Why? Because it's not in order. So now the weight on top is bigger, so it's going to collapse the one below. So we need to talk about family. You cannot build a business out of your family. If you're building a business out of your family, no matter what business it is, you're building a business that's going to crumble. And we can see examples. I was listening the other day on Clubhouse, so people that are in Clubhouse. If you're not yet there, it's something to join. But unfortunately, it's for only those who have iPhone. And I was listening to the former CEO of AT&T, no, of T-Mobile, the former CEO of T-Mobile, and they were asking him questions about what are some of the lessons he would have kind of replaced. He said he did not create time for his family. And that's why he ended up in a divorce and other stuff. So he was busy chasing deals. He had no time for the family, going from one point to another. And he said, if I have to rewrite any stuff, then I will make sure that I give maximum attention to my family. If I have done that, I will still be in my position. I will not even quit my job. So family is very important.
Family is important, and creating time, you have to do that intentionally.
That's right.
Yeah. So, Doctor, I'm looking at our time. I'll ask you this. What are some of the business ideas out there?
Okay.
Can you give us some?
All right. Business ideas that we can take independently. Oh, the most easiest business anyone can get into, even if you really, really working and don't have time. The first one is get into network marketing. Now, this why network marketing is my first recommended approach. It gets you to meet people. It gets you to talk to people. Business about people. Business about creating relationship. If you want to be a good business person, you need to create a relationship. And some people feel like asking for something is more like the begging, right? You just need to ask the people that need you or that can help you. But because we sometimes really think big about ourselves. I was like, oh no, why was I see me like asking this? What would people think about me if I do this? No, I like to keep my own space. You need to be selfless if you want to if you want to succeed. You need to be a servant leader, which means that you must listen and you must be willing to learn. That's the first strategy. And that is what network marketing, because you need to talk to people, you need to ask them to join your team, you need to explain to them exactly what you're doing. You need to, and majority of people feel like network marketing is just about convincing people. No, it's not about. It's about presenting an opportunity to people and letting them take a decision. So the same thing, you sell value, and what this that's our success strategy in network marketing, right? We don't get people and say, "Oh, there is this stuff, come and join." No. How will you imagine if you're able to create this amount of result within 3 months, and then you have the time you need? That's what people want to get into. Nobody want to sell product. Nobody want to buy it. They want to see how it's going to transform their life. So the way you communicate, the way you put yourself out is very important. And also the leadership that come along with you being in network marketing, it's a whole different ballgame. They teach you how to talk to people. They teach you how to build a team. They teach you all of this dynamic that you need in order to run a successful business. That's the first one. Now, the second one, which is one of the fastest, is the second largest growing company in the world, and it's something many people want to step into. It's getting into coaching, life coaching, business coaching, consulting. Why is it very important? Number one, without actually being sarcastic, we all know that the educational system is failing. We have people, they go to school, they have doctorate, they have masters, there is no job, right? So many people are shifting to a position where they can create their own job by learning from those who are already making it out there. Although getting into the space of coaching, if you really want to succeed, it's going to cost you money. This is the reason why it's going to cost you money. And for anyone in the field of coaching, if you're not yet investing, I want to ask you to invest. Now, the reason why you want to invest in coaching, the reason why you want to invest is because, for instance, if you come work in my sector, now you get visibility of those in my network. I can easily recommend you to someone that needs your service. If you start on your own circle, you're building a circle of people that are not doing any stuff. When I was able to sit under the mentorship of Dr. Angela, I did not only get her coaching, I had people in her network that were running multi-billion-dollar company. Now I was able to get access to them, and they could refer, hey, Francis, there's an event. Will you want to come talk here? They'll stop. So you also gain that bigger circle. And also the other day on Clubhouse, I was listening to this guy, Grant Cardone, and said, what's the fastest way to make $100,000 in 30 days? And for about 5 different people that were in there that were already making their millions, they say, invest $10,000. Go look for someone that is already making it. Give the guy, say, hey, this $10,000. I want you to talk about my product and put it out there. Now the guy's going to talk about that in 2 minutes. But guess what? He has a following of millions of people. And those millions of people, because they believe in them, they're going to buy your product. You put in $10,000, you make $100. That's the most easiest way. So the value of the network is very important. So, but it doesn't mean that you need to start off with money. No, you can just start off, number one, just by putting yourself out there on social media. Start talking about the things that matter, and people are going to reach out to you. Now, when people reach out to you, there are also different approaches which you need to succeed. You need to learn how to sell. You need to learn how to create a process that will be able to help someone. So all of this stuff, you need to be able to learn them while you grow. Now, the 10 ideas in business, which are also important ideas that you can scale on, and which many of us do not even need any money to scale up there. I had one of my friends, and he started doing chin chin, normal chin chin. And then he will package them, and he started just reaching out to a circle of friends. Hey, I have this. You can order it. You can order it. She started like 5 months ago. Now she is supplying even out of state. And that alone is able to bring her like the income someone working in a month. So the many stuff. Number one is that many people don't want to stay focused and don't want to build a name around what they're doing. And when they start one, two, nobody wants to say, no, you see, it's not working. The average amount of period for you to assess if something is working or not as a business person is 90 days of consistency. It's not 1 week, it's not 1 day today and 1 day out. The game is 90 days awareness. Be on social media consistently for 90 days. Number one, people need to build trust. If they don't trust you, nothing is going to happen. So the period of you showing up and nobody saying any stuff, they're watching. I have someone that said that, look, I've been following you for 12 months. And after 12 months, I think you're the right person to help me. Now, people are following you. And for 2 reasons. They're waiting for you to fail. And if you don't fail, they are going to hire you to help them.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So yeah, those are some of, there are many others out there, but those are like the three basic one you could easily access yourself to.
Okay, thank you. Our time is well spent. So before you round up, let me appreciate our viewers. Where did I? And okay, thank you, Anthony, for joining us. He said that is it. Maybe he was applauding you for saying something. And you also told us about consistency and resilience. Mimi says we also need our partner's support and a little bit of encouragement to go ahead. I think you've already spoken about that. Mary says faith. Yeah, faith without works is dead. So you have to have the faith and get into real business. She also says the only key to success is belief, for you to believe that you can do it. Thank you, Marie, for that. And Marie says creating time intentionally, it's key. So, Dr. Mbunya, I just want to ask you this one last thing, just one, because looking at the time, we need to go. What is your take-home message to our viewers today?
My take-home message is a key message. You are worth more than your present value. For every stage in my life, I know that hey, there's still more out there for me. And when you know that there's still more out there for you, it opens the opportunity for you to do more. For instance, when I got up this morning, this is Saturday, I had to come to the library to work on some certain stuff. I had to come with my son because he's also working on his book. And now, why do I need to create that time? I also need to create time for the family. So I have just about 2 more hours and I need to go back the other activities I need to do. Now, because I understand that if I create time to work on myself, if I create time to put in more in looking at other areas, and now looking at other area for me now it's not about diversifying. That's what key a lot of people. They diversify at a very early stage of their career, and because of that, they lose focus. For anyone in business, the more concise you are, the bigger the win. And many people ask me like, why is it that now you're just focusing on book writing, book? What about? I said, why? Because that is the area where I'm really kind of focused on now. And when you focus on that, it does not mean that you cannot talk about other areas. For instance, we're having a conversation now. Now you talking to me, you can understand that okay, it's not just about book writing. There are many other stuff. And your first goal is for you to understand that you can do more, and then focus on doing that more like very well, and then you're going to attract the right people. When you attract the right people, put in your interest in helping one people. If there's one thing you could do that could put you out there, is who is that one person I can help in transforming their life in a way that the result can be visible in their life. If you can find that one person, put in that effort in helping them, the rest is history. The 15th of May is going to be like the first anniversary where we published our first author. Now, it was one person that believed that I could do it. We published that person. Now, the 15th of May, we'll be putting in more than 20 other books that we published within 1 year. And now the demand is also going very high. It started by me helping someone to get success. Now, if I wanted to start by helping 20 people, maybe I would never even finish, and no one will ever know that I exist, and it's going to kind of get missing. And looking also at the way I transitioned, I started as a botanist. When I finished my bachelor, I worked as a biologist. Now I moved from a biologist to start looking at community development. Now I moved from community development, I shifted a bit to project management. I moved from project management, I shifted like purely now to entrepreneurship. There is no limit. What you do, no matter your background, it cannot limit you. We're the only person limiting ourselves. Now, because the brain has the capacity to learn if you open it up to. And there's a strategy I teach my authors while they're writing, because many people say, you know what, I'm not a good writer. I can't even write 2 pages. When you allow your brain, you'll be so amazed how much content your brain can create in less than no time. Now, the goal is we all want to be perfect. And we've forgotten that we are not perfect and will never be perfect. And because we want to be perfect, we always limit ourselves. For every success is a work in progress. And when you understand that it's about working in progress, then nothing is going to hold you back. So that would be my big takeaway. No matter what you do, many people want to start and they want to be like that person at the top. What I've been building has been like from 2007. It's not even from now. It's a combined effort of about 14 years plus that I'm putting in place now. Now, someone is going to think like, oh, I want to come in 2 days or in 1 year. I want to be like Francis. And if they're not like me, they say, oh, that your stuff didn't work. No, everyone has their own space, putting in the time, putting in the energy. But most importantly, you can do more. And when you start looking at that value, you'll be able to do more.
I like the way you put passion in what you do, even the way you talk about it. I think the viewers have noticed the passion in you. That goes back to clarity and believing in yourself. Thank you so much for coming today to inspire us. At Danny Women, we encourage and inspire, and you have done just that to us, and we are grateful. It was an honor to have you on our platform talk about stepping up your game in business as a woman. Thank you so very much for your time, and we'll be looking forward to having you again and again with interesting topics. Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. I appreciate it. Was an honor to be here. And for everyone that followed, we thank you very much for creating the time and also sharing with us. We appreciate. And thank you very much, Ms. Grace, for creating this platform and the great work you're doing out there. I would just say more power to what you're doing. You're changing our community.
Thank you, Doctor, for that. Thanks a lot. And thank you, ladies and gents, for tuning in today. We have heard from the expert. Now it's time to do the work, and it starts with believing in ourselves. You need to believe in yourself in order to get clarity. The expert has told us that already. It's your opportunity to start selling your value. You can't do that without being consistent. He said it, consistent, be consistent and resilient in order to succeed. And I like the way he ended it by saying, don't want to be perfect. You don't need to be perfect. I totally agree with that because there is nothing like perfection. You keep doing it and you get the result. I think business, it's a good thing. We need to take the take home message, step into business. You don't need any investor to do that. You just need to believe in yourself. Once more, thank you for your time. It's your girl, Emilian Grace, and I stay your girl today and tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye for now.